So I just got home from the movie theater and I just saw the new satanic slasher film, Psycho Killer, and I'm here to tell you whether or not it's worth going to the movie theater or maybe just skipping it and waiting for streaming. What's up folks, Chris from Cinema Hooked, and if you're new to this channel, I love horror, sci-fi, and fantasy, but today we're here to talk about horror, and I'm talking the new satanic slasher film, Psycho Killer. So if you like horror films and reviews and TV shows, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the little like button like the sign there says, and let's jump into today's new release. So this is a film that really flew under the radar for me, as I didn't see any trailers, I didn't see movie posters, I was just on my Cinemark app, and you know, I check every Thursday, hey, what's the new release? Saw Psycho Killer, what's that? I didn't want to look it up, I just saw Psycho Killer, it's horror, I'm in. Just to give a brief synopsis, IMDb tells us, and it ain't much. A police officer tracks a killer after her husband, a highway patrolman, becomes one of his victims. Wow, just the craziest plot I've ever heard. Pretty bare bones synopsis. Not a whole lot of depth to the film, but doesn't mean I didn't like it. Does not mean I didn't like it. In fact, I will say that I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I really enjoyed myself. One thing I really enjoyed was I showed up to the movie theater late, something I've been doing lately. I show up like 15 minutes late because I just cannot stand the 30 minutes of trailers and Coca-Cola commercials. It's just so annoying. But I showed up, walked in, looked around, and oh my God, there's nobody. There's nobody. Whole theater to myself. It doesn't happen often, but I was stoked. I was thrilled to just be in the theater by myself and just, you know, just have that alone time. It was awesome. So I'm not going to jump right into spoilers. I want to keep this kind of spoiler free for the beginning, but I liked this film. Like I said, pretty basic synopsis, but I mean, 5 minutes in, I mean, you really cared about the main character. And I mean, like the synopsis said, her husband, a highway patrolman, gets killed. But in that short 5 minute span, like, you care. You're invested and you're like, yeah, you're rooting for her the whole time. You're like, okay, so here's our protagonist and she's hunting that guy down the whole film. And I really enjoyed this little cat and mouse game. Like, she almost became like a Clarice in Silence of the Lambs. Like, she's trying to track down this killer and I loved every moment of it. It felt organic. It didn't feel forced. There were moments of cheesiness, not in the campy sense, more in the sense of I was never really like terrified. It was basic. It was basic. Now I know that sounds like a really bad thing. It was just, they're clearly trying to set this up like a franchise. Even just looking at the poster, meet your new nightmare. That's not something you say about just a one-off character where it's one movie, done. No, they're clearly trying to set up like a franchise. Whether or not this franchise can be good, that's to be determined. I'll need to see the second one before I make that decision. But like I said at the beginning of this film, I'm here to tell you whether or not it's worth going to the movie theater this weekend or on Cheap Tuesday next week to see it for a few bucks less, or wait and skip it and wait for streaming. I think you should go see it. If you're a horror fan, if you like slasher films, yes, I think this is for you. And if you like that whole satanic angle, which kind of makes me think of like Longlegs and films like that, I think this is for you. I think you'll enjoy this movie. I think you should go see it. I want to talk just a few spoilers, nothing huge, but so this is like the spoiler warning. You know, I told you, hey, if you like horror films, you like slasher films, go see it this weekend with a friend. See it by yourself like I did. If you're lucky, maybe no one else will be in the theater, but I liked it, but let's talk spoilers. So, like I said before, going in this film, I did not know anything about it, didn't know the synopsis, I knew nothing. And I don't really have anything negative to say because going in, I wasn't expecting much. This wasn't a movie I had even heard of, so right off the cusp, I'm thinking, okay, it's kind of a B horror movie. This isn't, you know, these huge names in this cast, which, I mean, I did recognize a handful of the actors. You know, it's not like I had a bunch of nobodies. I mean, it did have, you know, some big actors, but I wasn't expecting much. So it met my expectations as I just want to be entertained because there is nothing worse than going to a movie, especially blind, which I typically do these days. I try to avoid trailers for kind of the smaller films because otherwise I'll get surprised and caught off guard when I see a terrible movie like this one. Bad experience. But tonight, great experience. I went by myself and I absolutely loved it. So, spoiler alert, I have nothing bad to say about this film. Not really any real critiques of things that I was like, well, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. There is one thing though. There is one thing, and it's so nitpicky, you're gonna be like, for real, dude? Like, for real? It's driving scenes in film and television. The film starts off with the psycho killer driving. We don't know what he's driving yet. We find out it's a Mustang GT, a newer Ford Mustang GT. Fast car, almost 400 horsepower, stock. And the engine, and you hear the shifting, like it's going, but then it shows you the drone shot. And I mean, it's on the highway. He gets pulled over by a highway patrol. I know what a car looks like when it's going to speed, and I know the sound of a car that's going a certain amount based off the RPMs of the motor and the exhaust. The car's going like 25 miles an hour, but we're supposed to believe he's going like 65. Like, no. How hard is it to just accurately depict a car traveling down the road? It wasn't a car chase or anything crazy where they got to be careful about safety and stuff like that. It's like literally just driving down a straight highway and we're going 30. Like I said, I know that's really nitpicky and it's not really like part of the story, but it's little technical elements like that that do really get under my skin. The only other teeny tiny little critique was to do with the color grading. The color grading in this film was fine. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Nothing really stood out, but there was one scene. And if you saw the movie, you might have noticed the scene. But towards the end, she is on the roof overlooking a church where this satanic, massacre, mass murdering happened inside of a church. And she's perched up on the roof and she's looking around. And at one point, it showed a shot from behind her and the color palette completely changed. It was like blue. And it was like whoever the editor was, she's on that roof for a while and there's lots of different shots and angles. And then all of a sudden it's just blue for like no reason. I feel like it was just an editing error. So that kind of bothered me. The cinematography was good. I enjoyed the cinematography. Lighting was really good in this movie. That's something a lot of people talk about when they're talking about movies, but the lighting was really good in this. And the way they made the psycho killer so ominous and kept his face black. He's wearing the shades and a lot of like reflective off the lens shots to see like what he's looking at. Really good job on the lighting. Like he'd be well lit, but the way they lit it with the shadows and everything, like his face was still kind of blacked out. I thought they did a really good job on the lighting. So cinematography, the lighting, the score, really liked it. The story was good enough. And I know it's like, that's not flattering, but it's one thing to be a bad story. It's like, God, that was bad. Being just fine is just fine. This film was never particularly scary, which is kind of a bummer because when I go to a horror movie, I like to be scared. I like to feel the dread that the characters in this movie are feeling. I never really felt that. There was a good element of suspense and thrill, but everything was kind of, you could see it coming a mile away. Not in a bad way, like you predict exactly where the story's going, because it did have some twists and turns that I didn't expect. It was just, suspenseful, but it wasn't scary at all. That's what I thought of Psycho Killer, but if you saw it this weekend, if you saw it on opening night tonight, I'd love to know what you guys thought. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know down in the comments. And again, if you're new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the little like button like the sign there says. Helps a small channel like mine grow because I absolutely love doing this and I love talking movies with you guys. So I'll catch you guys in the comments and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.